What is up, you guys? I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Welcome back to my channel. Today I just kind of wanted to do a little chit chat, little update into my life because it has been a very long time since I actually have updated you guys. And I know last time I was making videos I was prepping for a bikini show, so a lot has changed since then. Yeah, so I was gonna do a chit chat while putting on a face mask because I love face masks like so much. I literally do them like once or twice a week, and I'm always trying new ones from like Walmart. I know it looks straight up like weed, but so this one is a hemp seed oil mask with agave and seaweed. So I just kind of wanted to talk about what has been on my mind lately because a lot has changed in terms of like my goals and just like my mindset on things. So I don't know, lately I've had a lot of things on my mind, but today the one thing on my mind is how to not feel lonely, because I know like it's this untalked about topic, but like so many of us feel it, and it's totally normal to feel, especially if like you're in your mid-20s, early 20s, like it's normal to feel kind of lonely sometimes, and everyone has felt lonely, and like there's definitely ways to prevent feeling that. Something else I wanted to talk about is like relationships, and how like a lot of people might be in a relationship in your life right now and you might feel like they don't have time for you anymore. And I'm also gonna be here to tell you that that is a normal feeling as well, and I'm pretty sure everyone feels that at some point in their lifetime. So let's get this started and get this on. It smells pretty normal. I thought it would have like a cannabis smell to it. I don't know, I felt lonely today because I like love my boyfriend. We hang out, like I see him like every day, and I used to think there was something wrong with that. Like I always used to feel like there was something wrong with that, but there really isn't. And sorry, I have music in the background because I'm like home alone and I get scared sometimes, so I play music. But yeah, no, like it's not a bad thing, and if you love seeing your boyfriend every day, then that's totally fine. And for the longest time, like when I first started dating him, I felt like, and okay, you have to have balance in your life. Like you can't be with them 24/7, but it's normal to love being around them, and like you should love being around them. Also, like I need to have my own life, my own thing. If you feel like you love being around your boyfriend and like he leaves and then you get lonely and sad, like that's normal. I know a lot of people feel that way because I talk to like my friends, and like you shouldn't feel bad for feeling that way. But the biggest thing I would say is that like when you're with him all the time, like just remember like you can go and do your own thing. Like you don't always have to be with him, and you should also have things that you love doing just on your own. So I've really come to learn that, because when I first started dating him, I loved being around him, and I didn't really have that like mindset, and it was something I had to kind of learn because I never had been in a relationship where I actually like really loved the person. I never was in a relationship in college. I had no relationship, and honestly that's like the best time of your life. I might be rambling, but this is kind of how I wanted the video to go, so I can just tell you guys what's been on my mind. But like being single and having that independent time of your life is like so important, and I'm so glad I had that throughout college because I learned so much about myself. Like I learned that I actually love being alone, and I actually like love like the little things I love. For example, like candles and like face masks and wine and like traveling and like going to coffee shops. Like I found that all out because I had to, because I was alone, and like I was taking in my surroundings, and like the only person I had to take care of was myself. I thought I dropped it. So like I'm so glad I had that time in my life. And then the minute I met my boyfriend, I like fell in love fast. I like really wanted to be around him all the time, and I think the reason I felt that way is because like he motivated me. Well, he still motivates me, but he believed in me more than anyone I ever hung around did. Like he made me feel like so empowered, and like I always made myself feel that way, but hearing it from someone else is always like, it solidifies what you're trying to work towards. So I just loved being around him because of that, and also because we laughed and smiled, and like I just kind of could escape like life for a little while and just like enjoy the little things, like going out to dinner and like literally doing nothing and still having a good time. It's normal to feel like you want to be around them because they're comfortable, like you just feel like at peace when you're around your love, and that's normal, and that's kind of how it should feel. And for a long time I felt like that was wrong, but I will say it gets wrong when you don't find a balance, and when you become so dependent on like them making you feel better, then it becomes a little bit dangerous and like damaging to like your own independence. And I honestly went through all of that, and we have been together for almost this coming June will be like 3 years, and like our relationship is really different because our family upbringings are very different, and no one ever teaches you these things, like no one ever does. So I kind of just had, I mean, everyone just kind of has to learn as they go, because you can't really know what to teach people when you don't know what they're gonna go through. But yeah, so when we first started dating, his parents are Muslim. It was like this struggle of him breaking his mom's heart, because him and his mom are really close, and like, and she wanted him to, you know, how their religion goes, like get an arranged marriage, and like, I don't know, I think his mom had that idea in her head. But I think he really built it up in his head, because when he told her, she was like super like understanding, and me and her like get along so well. I like go over there all the time, and like she has no issue with it. So that also goes into my point of, you know, getting out of your head, because in the beginning of the relationship he was in his head about telling his mom and like got scared, and then I got in my head about how my parents are thinking about him and like the relationship because of that. And being in your head can be super dangerous as well, because you can blow things up when you really don't need to. You can get kind of like paranoid when you really don't need to be, and it's honestly just really important to just talk about things and like get it out there so you're not worried. It's okay to want to be around your boyfriend all the time, just like find a balance and make sure to spend time for yourself, spend time with your friends, make sure you're really like recognizing what's important in your life instead of just putting them first, because I think a lot of women like to do that and like to take care of other people, but you have to take care of yourself. And that is why I wanted to also talk about loneliness, because like everybody feels lonely at some point, and I felt lonely today. I actually really didn't, because I knew how to handle it. But I have felt lonely in this situation because my boyfriend is on a work trip for a week, and I'm gonna be home alone for a week. And I'm not gonna lie, like the highlight of my day is like picking him up after we finish work to go work out. Like I just love that. So it's kind of sad like when he's not here, because I'm just like, gotta work out alone, gotta do a lot of things alone, like I'm cooking for myself, like it gets kind of lonely. I think it's good to feel lonely sometimes, because it teaches you about yourself, and like this mask is never ending. But yeah, loneliness teaches you a lot about what you like, what's important to you, helps you get things done quicker. Like I have no distractions now, I can like get my work done. But it's always easier said than done, because loneliness is a feeling that's like, you feel like you have no idea what to do. And if you felt lonely before, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when you're lonely, it's like you start to kind of look around everything around you, and you're like, why don't people like ask me to hang out, or like why can't I get this done? Like you start you just start getting in your head about things when you really don't need to be. I think this is the last bit. And trust me, like, I get that same way. I used to get that same way because I didn't know how to handle it. Like, and that was when I think personally I kind of depended on my boyfriend to like fill that void or fill that loneliness. But I don't now, and I want to tell you guys like how you can like be okay with being alone and like honestly come to love it. The biggest way I would say to how to not feel lonely is to, number one, recognize that you feel lonely. Like, you don't need to hide the fact that you're lonely, and it's okay to feel lonely, but recognize that and realize that a lot of people feel that way and it's totally normal. And then second would be the way to get out of your loneliness is to do what you love. So personally for me, like, I actually kind of love cleaning when I'm lonely. Like, it distracts me. I play music, I just clean, light some candles, like just kind of enjoy my environment. Like, I think a lot of us, when we feel lonely, we want to like go shopping. Like, I'm just being honest, because shopping gives us instant gratification. When we're not getting like gratified through just being alone, like, you want to go and like purchase things to feel happy. And you're gonna come home, you're gonna unpack it all, and you're just gonna feel lonely again. So I would recommend just recognizing it. Don't rush into like trying to do something so you don't feel lonely. Like, I don't know, I just think for a long time I felt like being lonely was like a bad thing, and like a lot of times I thought people were just blaming it on the fact that like my boyfriend was gone, or like, I don't know. I just felt that way for a long time, and it bugged me. But then I started to realize like there's so many people who feel this way, because like I'd meet with friends and like a lot of them say like they're lost or they feel kind of like lonely because friends like move and they change, and like not a lot of people are available all the time. Today I felt lonely. So I went to Whole Foods because I love Whole Foods, and I sat there, got a salad, and I just worked on my laptop. And literally before I know it, 2 hours passed by. I just loved like the sound of everyone around me like shopping. Like, I don't know, that to me like filled the loneliness, and I felt like satisfied and I felt happy, and I can come home and I'm like excited to be here. I'm spitting truth right now, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us feel that way. If you're in a relationship, you love being around that person, and they leave and you're like, oh my god, like, what am I gonna do today? Because like, you usually have plans with them, but you have to find things that you love to do as well. So if you have a similar situation to me where, I don't know why my voice is cracking, I really don't. When I first started dating my boyfriend, a lot of people didn't agree with it. A lot of people didn't. And he got around crowds, it was different. And like, I would have to like sit there and feel like I need to explain how he really is, and like I put pressure on myself to like tell people like, no, this is how he is and stuff. But really, like, at the end of the day, it's your decision, it's your life, and if you're happy with that person, then you shouldn't have to worry or feel pressure to explain that to anybody. And it was really, really hard for me because I'm a people pleaser. I think that's called like an empath. I care a lot about what people are thinking around me, and that can be really like hard, especially when like people are literally voicing their opinion on your choices. I needed a break because I needed to clear my head from all the voices that were trying to tell me things about him, and I just needed like a clear like sign that what I'm doing is right. So I did take a break, and during that time he told his mom, and that's when she became really understanding about it all. And during that time I cried a lot. One of my family's like support, like, you don't need to feel pressure for pleasing other people, and I think both of us were trying to do that. So I don't know if any of this is making sense, but I really hope that it can help one of you, because it was a really hard time for me. I felt like I had to put myself first because it's what made me happy, and to be honest, like, no matter what happens, if it's meant to be or not, which it feels like it is right now, I'm so glad I put myself first and what I wanted first, because if I didn't, I would have never known, and I would have just kept trying to please everybody else. It just opened both of our eyes a lot, and like we feel like we can tackle anything now. Stop trying to please other people. Please yourself. Please yourself always. Put yourself first always. Like, that is so important, because like there are days you're gonna feel lonely. There are days you're gonna feel unsupported. There's days you're gonna feel all these things that like are really hard to swallow. But if you put yourself first and you know what makes yourself happy, then like you can tackle any of that. So this is getting a little tight on my face. It's a very important topic to me, and it consumed a lot of my past years. What makes me happy, my happiness, is truly like what's really important at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, you're the one laying your head on that pillow. You're the one dealing with your thoughts. And you know what? Like, no one else can determine any of that. And doing what I'm doing is making me so happy, and it's teaching me a lot about life. But I do want to talk about this in another video, hopefully with him, because he has a lot of great insight on it. I literally cannot smile right now. It's so tired. Alright guys, that mask was real nice. My skin feels nice and glowy. Really hard to wash off though. I was straight up like scratching it off. I'm so sorry. I'm like grossing myself out. But I will talk to you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.